各位记者
Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. Now questions, please.
好的。发言人好，北京日报记者提问：中国智利周是智利连续多年。
Beijing Daily, my question is about the Chile Week. Chile Week China is the largest scale and highest level promotion event that Chile has held in China for several consecutive years. As we speak, the 9th Chile Week China is unfolding in multiple cities, including Beijing, Hangzhou, Chengdu, and Guangzhou, and various unique activities have been created. Many Chile lovers in China. What's your comment? China and Chile are good friends and good partners. The two countries have highly complementary economies, extensive common interests, and a broad cooperation. China-Chile Week has been held in China for several consecutive years, and China continues to welcome Chile to continue to hold Chile Week events in China. We are pleased to see increasingly close and mutually beneficial cooperation between the two countries, which will deliver tangibly to our two peoples.
Thank you. A question from AFP.
法新社有一些法国媒体报道称，中国驻法国大使卢沙野将在1月份离任，中方能否证实 ？I have no information to share. You may follow the Foreign Ministry's website for any update.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。日本经济新
Nikkei. The upcoming U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio have been sanctioned by China twice in 2020. What are the content of China's sanctions? According to the sanctions, can he enter China? If not, how will this affect the diplomatic relations between China and the U.S.? On this question, I've answered that before, which you may refer to. I have nothing to share, more to share. On China-U.S. relations, China's policy on the U.S. is consistent and clear. Next one, please. Real Novosti. Donald Trump, the winner of U.S. presidential election, have threatened that BRICS countries will be imposed with a 100% tariffs if they create an alternative currency to replace the US dollar. What's the Foreign Minister's comment? As an important platform for emerging markets and developing countries, BRICS advocates openness, inclusiveness, and win-win cooperation, not bloc confrontation, and does not target any third party. It has the aim of realizing common development and prosperity. China stands ready to continue working with BRICS partners to deepen practical cooperation in various fields and make more contribution to the sustained and steady growth of the world economy. Next one, please.
Good afternoon. A question from Reuters.
路透社，中方是否计划在台海周边进行更多的军演？
请再重复你的问题。
Could you please repeat your question?
Does China plan
中方是否计划在台湾周边开展更多的军演？因为最近赖清德竟在窜访太平洋岛国。路透社提问：由于最近赖清德正在窜访太平洋岛国，中方是否计划在台海周边举行更多军演？
关于你提到的问题，我在
On your question, let me stress that the Taiwan question is at the very core of China's core interests. China is firmly resolved in safeguarding its sovereignty and territorial integrity, and China is focusing on relevant developments closely. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。本地青年报记者提问：我们注意到日前伊朗与英国、法国、德国以及欧盟在
Beijing Youth Daily. Most recently, Iran held high-level talks with the UK, France, Germany, and the EU in Geneva, mainly to exchange views on the Iranian nuclear issue. The two sides agreed to continue diplomatic dialogue in the near future, was China's comment. We noted relevant reports. A dialogue and consultation is the right way forward for resolving the Iranian nuclear issue. Under the current circumstances, parties need to strive to maintain an enabling atmosphere for dialogue and consultation and take constructive action for the resumption of negotiation on this issue. China stands by our objective and just position and will actively promote talks and work with the other parties to advance the political resolution of the issue. Next one, please.
AFP.
法新社昨天，美国众议院的一个关于新冠疫情的新冠疫情的特别小组说，新冠疫情的病毒很有可能源于中国武汉的实验室。中方对此报告有何评论？
美方的所谓报告
The so-called report of the United States, without any substantive evidence, spins conclusions, sling mud on China, frames China, and this is an old page from its old playbook of political manipulation of origins tracing. There is no credibility at all. This is a serious issue. China's position on the origin tracing is consistent and participates in global origin tracing in a transparent way. China firmly opposes any form of political manipulation. Lab origin of the pandemic is extremely unlikely. This is an authoritative and science-based conclusion made by China WHO joint missions of their field trips in labs in Wuhan and communication with relevant researchers. This is acknowledged by international community and the scientific community and recorded in the report of the mission. The United States should immediately stop weaponizing and politicizing this issue, stop sling mud on other countries, scapegoating other countries, and turning a blind eye to the questions on the United States itself or waiting for an answer. The United States should respond to international legitimate concerns as soon as possible and share its suspected early cases with WHO, release what's going on Fort Detrick and other labs of the United States in the world and gives a responsible explanation to people in the world.
谢谢发言人。澎湃新闻记者提问：据了解，中方专家赴日本福岛。
The paper, we've learned that the seawater samples independently collected by Chinese experts in waters near Fukushima have arrived in China. Can you confirm that? Based on the agreement between China and Japan, Japan agreed on the long-term international monitoring arrangement within the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, over the ocean discharge of Fukushima nuclear contaminated water, and agreed to ensure that China and all other stakeholders can carry out independent sampling and monitoring. In mid-October, organized by the IAEA, experts from China and other countries traveled to waters near Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, independently took seawater samples and sealed the samples then and there. Recently, the samples have arrived in China. Specialized research institutions in China are conducting rigorous and independent tests and analysis. Relevant progress will be made public in a timely manner. Next one, please.
Thank you. Just a question.
彭博社，我想问一下关于澳大利亚总理阿尔巴尼斯的表态，中方已经解除了对澳大利亚肉类的输华的限制性措施。这一举措 很有可能会推动澳大利亚输送更多的红肉到中国。中方能否详细介绍一下，这是一个什么样的信号？中方这一决定对于中澳关系来说意味着什么？
具体的经贸问题建议。
On specific trade and economic issues, I'd refer you to competent authorities. Let me say there, China is willing to work with Australia through dialogue and consultation to properly settle our issues, so that the bilateral ties will become more mature and deliver more benefits to our two peoples.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。总台央广记者提问。据报道，11月29号，科索沃地区领导人库尔蒂。
It was reported that on November 29th, leader of Kosovo, Kurti, said that a canal that sends water to two power plants in northern Kosovo was hit by Serbian criminal groups, which may have temporarily cut part of the power and drinking water supply. The attack was aimed at damaging Kosovo's critical infrastructure. Kosovo's police has arrested 8 suspects, most of which belong to the ethnic Serbian group Civila Zestica. Serbian Foreign Minister strongly condemned the attack and added that Kosovo's accusations against Serbia are baseless and they are a deliberate diversion, serves only to escalate tensions, was China's comment. China noted the reports and condemns moves damaging important infrastructure. On the Kosovo issue, China has all along respected the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Serbia and called on relevant parties to continue carrying out practical and constructive dialogue and actively seek a lasting solution to this issue. In this process, the security and lawful rights and interests of various ethnic groups in Kosovo need to be protected. Next one, please.
AFP. Question.
法新社，我问一个关于芯片的问题。昨天，中方已经就美方对于中国芯片出口加强限制性措施的一个表态。中方能否提供更多的细节？中方将会采取什么样的措施来应对？
中方已就美国再次跟
On the U.S. latest export controls suppressing China's technological advancement, China has lodged protests. Let me reaffirm that China opposes the United States overstretching the concept of national security and abusing illegal sanctions on Chinese companies, as well as long-arm jurisdiction over Chinese companies. Such practices gravely disrupt the international economic and trade order, destabilize global industrial and supply chains, and harm the interests of all countries. China calls on the U.S. to respect the law of market economy and the principle of fair competition. We will do what is necessary to firmly safeguard our security and development interests. Next one, please.
谢谢。深圳卫视新闻，北京时间12月3号，第79届联合国大会举行全会，通过了中国提交的。
On December 3rd, the 79th UN General Assembly held a plenary meeting and adopted the resolution submitted by China entitled Promoting International Cooperation on Peace for Use in the Context of International Security. Could you offer more information on the resolution? China welcomes the adoption of this resolution. Again, the resolution asks for strengthening the role of UN, promoting dialogue and cooperation on the basis of equal participation of all countries, and setting guiding principles to safeguard developed countries' legitimate right of peaceful use of science and technology. The resolution urges certain countries to stop abusing export control and imposing unlawful unilateral coercive measures. China is happy to see that the concept of peaceful use of science and technology is winning greater support, and the voice calling for exchanges and cooperation, while opposing small yards with high fences, is growing stronger. China stands ready to work with other sides to push for the full and effective implementation of this resolution, promoting the fruits of technology progress for the benefit of peace and development. Meanwhile, we would like to urge certain countries to listen to the concerns of the international community and correct their wrongdoings. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Are there any more questions?
好，那今天的记者。
If not, then let's call it a day. Thank you.